Welcome everybody to What's Up Bolts. I am Fernando Ramirez, here to talk about the Chargers draft. I mean, we are about a week removed from the Omari and Hampton selection. And what is the theme? The Justin Herbert draft. I know Justin Herbert was drafted in 2020, but no, this draft was all about Justin Herbert, getting him weapons, improving the offense around him. The Chargers listen to you guys, because I know a lot of you guys were complaining. No X receiver. There's no this. There's no that. We only have a slot receiver. So the Chargers listened to you guys, and they went out and they made some good selections in the draft. Yes, I am solo for who knows. I'm hoping. Oh, Alex is gonna go watch Thunderbolts. Thank you so much, Alex, for jumping on and listening to us. I think I'm gonna go watch it either Friday or Saturday. I do not know yet, but that's the first Marvel movie I'm actually excited to go check out. Appreciate you listening. Hopefully maybe some theme music will come on, or somebody comes in and helps. But I am here right now solo. We'll see what happens. There might be some surprises here and there for you guys, but first off, obviously, Omari and Hampton. Piano Man's excited. Piano Man. He says, who's got it? Nobody. Alex, that's a tradition that my brother, my sister, and I have. We always go watch all the Marvel movies, or whatever awesome movie comes out. We go check it out. Wow, this is very interesting. Young West, I've been great, thank you. How about yourself? So I was expecting the glass to break and somebody's here, but I don't know if it's who everybody thought it was.
Smell what the rock is cooking.
What's up? It's not Dan.
How are you doing?
Got the birds right here.
The birds.
How's the Wi-Fi, by the way?
Oh no, it's good. You're good. How are you doing?
I'm here with the in-laws, man. Had a bunch of tacos. I'm freaking full. Got the horchata here, ready to talk some Chargers draft. And I got the perico behind me too, I think. Whatever they are, birds.
There you go. Oh, Alex, a final boss who actually shows up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sent out a text. I have not heard anything back from Dan, so we'll see. We'll see if he jumps on today. So today was the first day of practice. So off-season practices. So yeah,
Wow.
We'll see where he's at. But I'm glad you're on. You obviously are people may call you a critic. People may call you you go above and beyond to crap on people. Angel, we're asking ourselves the same thing. We'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes or whatever. But Gilbert, overall, Omari and Hampton, Trey
First of all, I
Harris.
feel like an old guy, Fernando. I don't know how to hold this camera because I'm trying to do it sideways, and I feel like some old dude trying to figure it out. But go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. I put it down here, recapping the Chargers draft, the Justin Herbert draft. We all know he was drafted in 2020, but this was the Justin Herbert draft for the weaponry. They even got an offensive lineman in the 6th round, but they just got a bunch of pieces to be able to get this offense going. And you and I both know, Gilbert, DK Metcalf $30 million. The Chargers said hell no. They Devontae Adams $25 million. They said nope, not our bread and butter. They decided, let's wait until the draft. Let's double down on receivers and let us go that route. Gilbert, what did you make of their draft?
Yeah, like you mentioned, Fernando, going with the skill players, Marion Hampton, the running back, getting the wide receiver with Trey Harris from Ole Miss. You know, similar to last year, as you know, Fernando, getting Ladd McConkey in the 2nd round. And it kind of goes with the DNA for Harbaugh and Hortiz, or the Baltimore Ravens, right? You wait on the wide receiver. You don't want to overvalue wide receivers too much, but they went with the running back in the 1st round. A little bit of a shock, and credit to you, Fernando, because when they got the pick for Hampton, you could tell there's something going on where, like, they didn't really get to do what they want to do. I'm not saying they didn't want Hampton all along,
No.
But they were trying to trade down, get out of it, and it was a difficult draft to trade down because of the lack of, I guess, blue chip players or future All-Pros, whatever you want to call them. But at that point, when you don't get the trade that you want, you go with the best player available. And who gives a crap that he's a running back? I sometimes tight ends don't want to go in the top 10. This year, that didn't matter with Colston Loveland. Let me know if my Wi-Fi sucks, by the way.
No, you're good.
But I think I wanted to call this draft, Fernando, the F it draft, the screw it draft. Who's your guy? Go and get him. Who cares about positional value, draft pick, draft needs? Who cares about being called if you're going for the reach? Omarion Hampton could play. And a bit, I'll give you some of my concerns from Omarion Hampton, but the whole running back thing at the first round, I couldn't care about that.
Yeah. So you said what? My bad. I couldn't hear that last part.
The whole getting a running back in the first round, to me, I could care less about that.
Yeah.
I really didn't care about that, but just being a good player and getting the guy you wanted to help out Justin Herbert, if that's in the first round, he plays running back, then so be it.
The crazy part is, Gilbert, is that everybody's like, well, they have Najee Harris. Ladies and gentlemen, Najee Harris is on a 1-year deal. Omarion is going to be here for 4 years, possibly 5, depending on the 5th-year option. But Omarion is going to be a guy that could turn into their cattle back for the next few years. So I definitely don't think that I definitely think that it was a smart move. They needed a running back. We all know. And I remember I read somewhere, I think it was either the Mercury News, I can't remember back in the day, but I remember I read that Jim regretted only having Frank Gore and not having another back to go with it. And you see that and you're like, okay, well, now he wants this 2-headed monster. I think Hampton, I think the one thing that they because Chris Sims came out and said, to me, there's only a slight difference between Ashton Genty and Hampton. And obviously, to each their own, everybody sees things differently. But, I mean, that's a big indicative of where he thinks that Hampton's going to be. So obviously, with him, it's going to be about what way can he move the ball. He can catch, he can run, he can do a lot of different things. And it's like we've all been saying, Mekhi Becton and Joe Alt on that right side. Last year, all the runs were going towards the left side. This year, I think they're going to be going to the right side, Gilbert, because if Mekhi Becton can stay healthy, that duo, you're pushing almost 800 pounds worth of mass between those two guys. So that's, okay, my bad. 750 to like 800.
See, Fran, this is where I want to think a little deeper and maybe not criticize too much, but think about where and it's also in a way a compliment because you go with the best player available.
Yeah.
But I wonder what this means for Najee Harris, Fernando, because Omarion Hampton is the type of running back that could be a 3-down back. He could block. He could catch out of the backfield. Like I told you maybe a month ago, Fernando, I said the only thing I worry about Omarion Hampton is he's a volume runner. He needs a lot of touches to get going.
Yep.
He's not very efficient. He's not. Give me 5 to 8 carries. I'm going to be electric, and I'm going to get you maybe a 20-yard gain, a 30-yard gain, take it to the house. That's not really who he is. He has that burst. He has that extra gear, but he needs to get going, and you can't really get, maybe Najee Harris involved. But, hey, he's going to be a rookie, Fernando, so you don't want to throw too much at the guy too soon. The comparison that I heard that I really love for Omarion Hampton was Jonathan Taylor. Taylor, for some reason, doesn't get a lot of, love for top 5 running back. But when you think about it, he is a very good running back. He does everything. He stays on the field for the Colts. So if he does that, what does that mean for Najee Harris? But again, it didn't cost him much. It was a 1-year contract. Yep. $4 million with a bunch of incentives. So don't be surprised for some fantasy people here that if Hampton takes over by October, November, that you don't see Najee Harris too much. But then again, here's my other concern. Harbaugh loves to run the football. I'm okay with that. And when we get Dan on, he's going to harp about that. But I don't want it to be too Stone Age, slow football, I'm not going to say too physical. You can't ever be too physical.
Yeah.
But I want to see Herbert sling the rock. And you have 2 running backs there. I worry about him getting out of rhythm. And then one more concern here, Fernando.
You're good.
Did they believe in the running back? Did they focus too much on skill players and running backs and not enough on the interior because you still got the issue there? With maybe center, maybe guard.
That's what we're going to get into right now. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, what is this? Oh, hold on. Oh, my bad. Okay, that was just that's what I was basically trying to do.
Thanks
You
for
see what it
signing up,
says?
buddy. Thanks
You
for
see what it
signing up.
says? Where are you at? The zoo with fucking birds going off all over there? You in
I
what's it
was
called?
here. I'm here with the in-laws, and you're nowhere to be found. I'm not.
What are
making
you
excuses.
talking about? Yeah, sorry. I have another job for a living. Sorry. I don't get to just wake up around brunch time.
Yeah, and everybody was asking about you.
Oh, Coke Zero Dan is back, Jorge. I'm sure everybody's asking about me. They know I've been, on a hiatus of the Coke Zero. Shout out to Jesus, but I'm back, baby. I'm here now. Oh, there you go. I like that. Oh, let me do the turn. I love Joe Hendry, dude. I'm a big Joe Hendry guy.
So Dan Gilbert raised the concern that obviously I think you still have, and it is who the hell's going to play left guard for you? Zion Johnson, they've talked about moving him to center. I just don't believe they're going to do that. I would have believed it if it was Bradley Bozeman and like no other option. Like now that it's him, you're kind of like, well, no, they do need somebody else at left guard. And they're talking about Trey Pipkins fighting for that, Andre James fighting for it.
Haven't we already seen the Trey Pipkins experiment? I mean,
yeah. So
what are we talking about here?
So what do you think?
My biggest thing is, let's be honest. If you struggle at guard, center sure as shit is not the answer for you, sir, because your best offensive lineman always, the way I try and rank them, I would put number 1 at center, number 2 at blindside tackle, and then you start filling in from there. But, to say Zion has struggled at left guard and let's put him at center, like, I don't know how that's going to help. Center is the position most direct to the quarterback. So what are we even talking about there? The Trey Pipkins experiment, we already saw. Trey Pipkins is huge, but he plays like he's my height and my size. Like, I don't understand it. So no, I don't think that's going to be a viable option. I think what they're hoping is either they can, steal Captain America's secret serum for Zion, or they're hoping one of these undrafted guys, because they supposedly went pretty hard in the undrafted free agent class to get a lot of interior linemen. They're probably hoping that one of them pays off. So that's probably what it's going to be. It's either going to be someone you've never heard of, or it's going to be someone we saw last year, or you never know, because they could trade for someone like they did last year at the end of preseason when people were cutting, or sign someone when people were cutting and stuff like that. But I just don't think it's a good idea. You've already seen it. You're most likely not going to pick up. Isn't Buddy on his 5th year already, or no?
No, no. Don't you remember before somebody left, they gave him a contract extension?
Are you shitting me? They re-signed him after his
Pipkins.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Pipkins? I was talking about Zion. My bad.
Oh no. Zion's on.
It's not getting picked up, right?
Yeah, that's why.
The deadline was today at 1 p.m. And
he's not getting a 5th year, so they're probably going to get rid of him anyway. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's got to be someone who, because in my opinion, this guy's not in your plans anyway. Maybe you put someone in. How is Zion strong and can't block for shit? LOL. Pardon the language, but geez, Young West, don't worry. I'm totally with you on that. Problem is strength only gets you so far. There's so much that goes into it. Don't believe the stooges with the typewriter or the computers and, writing these articles like, some national writer that likes to brag all the time about who he works for. I won't say who, but
Gilbert, what did you make of the receivers and the tight end out of Syracuse? Looks like he's a very athletic player as well. Obviously, receiver converted to tight end, but that's what Herbert needed, right? Weapons.
Yeah, you need skill players, and the one thing about this draft class that lacked was a true number 1 wide receiver. So I think a lot of teams went for what flavor they need, or they wanted, or what need they needed. Like for the Panthers, they needed tall wide receivers for Bryce Young, who's 5'10" or my height, I guess. And they got T-Mac from Arizona. The Packers needed somebody to stretch the field. That was Matthew Golden, so he went there. But there's not really an all-around wide receiver. And to me, I think what the I keep wanting to say Ravens, but what the Chargers did, they were trying to find they're not really big names, but guys who were very productive, reliable in college, can make an immediate impact, because you're not messing around. You got that contract for Justin Herbert. I know he's still in his 20s, but stop messing around. You want guys that can play right away. Yeah, I'm 5'9", okay, with shoes 5'10", okay. But yes, you want guys who are productive. And I started doing research on the player from Ole Miss, the tight end that you mentioned from Syracuse. I mean, these guys could play. So if they're able to pick up the playbook right away and help out, I'm not too concerned about pass catcher. Obviously, Ladd McConkey is going to be your guy. Ladd McConkey, can't be like this tall dude, 6'1" or 2. But when you got more weapons to spread the ball around and you got a good running game, that could take you pretty far. But the thing, I'll say this, and I'll flip a question to Dan. You got the skill players in the world. You got a Marion Hampton. You drafted the wide receiver in the second round. If that guard position and the center just absolutely suck, how concerned are you, Dan, for this offense not to even be good at all? Because, well, it was pretty good last year. It was still that interior really derailed, especially the back end of the season for the team.
Dan, before you answer that,
okay,
I gotta
there you go. Play the music.
Here.
I've been waiting.
Oh. There he is, Eric D. Williams. Eric, how are you doing?
What's going on, fellas? Gil, good to see you, man.
Hey, how's it going? I'm here out in the wild. So good to see
Eric, doesn't it look like he's like in the Blair Witch Project or something? Like we're just watching him. Like then you hear the noises of the animals, and he's just gonna start Yeah, there you go. He's gonna start sniffling and everything. Then he's just gonna disappear. Then he's gone.
It's a little bit, a little scary, a little scary. But, hopefully he's okay.
Oh, yeah, he's good. He's good. He's on the field. But going back to it, 100%, when you have bad guys up front, inside especially, you have to just game plan for that. Like if there's no viable replacement, it's either you put a running back to, kind of help out the interior guys, or you get the rock out quick. You target more things to your strength. Things like that. 100%. You can't. Last year, what would happen a lot is, obviously, granted, I'm not in those rooms. I'm not one of those guys. I don't know what's going on. But I don't know what type of protections they're running. But, like, they'd get simple stunts up front, and they weren't able to pick it up. Like, just Bozeman's lateral movement alone was terrible. And recognition was not good. Same with Zion. So, there's nothing worse than when you get there's an old saying, when a lineman is pigs on the skates, that's when it's all hell's about to break loose. It's just a shit show. You can't do anything about it. So when they're on skates, it's not good. So
Eric, thank you so much for jumping on with us. I know you are on the clock, but quick question for you, just overall Chargers draft. What did you what did you think about it? Because it was more like we put here the Justin Herbert draft. It was what can we do to get this offense going and help Herbert out. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Like you said, I mean, they were able to add a handful of playmakers for Herbert, which obviously was the main concern going into the draft. I did this top 10 draft hauls for Fox Sports, and they were on that top 10. Obviously, getting Hampton was key. Getting another guy that could be a home run threat as a running back. But then I also like the playmakers they added on the perimeter. I like the kid out of Ole Miss, Harris. I think he fits in terms of a big-bodied receiver out in the perimeter. And then I also like the guy later on out of Auburn, Lambert. If you go and watch some of his stuff on YouTube, that guy's legit. He knows how to get open. He's polished. I think when you see those two guys, I think they kind of fit the profile for what their receiver coach, wants in terms of, an X receiver on the perimeter. He obviously coached DK Metcalf in Seattle, big, strong receiver that can win and can win contested catches. And when you look at Harris and the kid out of Auburn, they kind of remind you of those big, strong X receivers that are fast and can create separation or can win contested catches down the field. And that's what Herbert is really strong at. You look at all of the big throws he made to Mike Williams. I think those guys kind of fit the way that, Mike plays out in the perimeter.
Speaking of Fox Sports, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay.
Our Fox Sports insider. Have we seen what's been going on with former Fox Shannon Sharp over there and everything? Or
okay. All right. Eric, I
I
did not know where he was going with
he,
this.
he works for another network
Yeah.
now, so
I don't know. It's all connected, maybe.
we're
There's
gonna keep it moving.
All right.
Don't answer
No,
that,
obviously,
Eric,
I was just joking. I
let's talk
wasn't
football
actually expecting you to answer that. Don't worry, I wouldn't do that.
Eric, just with, I think that what the Chargers have kind of done now. Hold on, real quick. The J.K. Dobbins. What did you make of that move that they made with putting that tag on him, and obviously, if he hasn't signed with a team by training camp, he is a Charger for the rest of the season.
That's how that works. Because I don't know if you know how that works, Gil. I wanted a little bit of clarity on that because I haven't really seen that used in my years of covering the league, and so I was a little surprised by that.
So Dr. Florio put out an article.
He's a doctor.
And he said he basically said that right now he's a member of the Chargers moving forward. The rookie Mickens from Clemson, he switched his number. He was going to be 27. He switched his number, and now he's 41, and 27 goes back to J.K. Dobbins.
Okay.
So essentially, if J.K. does not get signed by the start of training camp, if the Chargers open training camp and he has still not been signed, he is a member of the Los Angeles Chargers for the 2025.
Can Jim and the PR people start leaking bad stories about him, and then we keep him like that? Or
and yes, it is rare that they use this. It hasn't been. I think it hadn't been used in a while, but that's essentially from what I read from his article. That's what it is. Is that he can be signed by somebody, but obviously he's a member of the Chargers right now. So
if he reverts back to the Chargers, what's the number he plays at?
3.75, I think it was.
Okay, yeah.
It's for it's for comp picks. This move, but it was pretty crazy to see that he essentially could be back with the Chargers.
We get the first free kick under Harbaugh or whatever the hell that thing was, and then we get now this. I'm down. I'm in.
Yeah, you're getting advantages where it was the opposite before, right?
These guys can probably fucking read, Eric. Who knows? I don't know what it is, dude. I don't know, but I'm glad now I have adults in the room, so I'm excited. Which, by the way, isn't it just so funny the way, how can I put this delicately? A certain person's whose name is on the building is always right around when things are happening, so it makes it look like they have a little hand at play also.
They cash the check. They're the ones that write the checks. They sign.
Gil, you want to take that on?
Just be an owner. Just be an owner. Let's not pretend.
Jerry Jones is there all the time.
I could run that team with the way this is going. I just gotta show up and sit there. Yeah. Jim comes up to me. Hey, we're thinking
Madden Dynasty.
Exactly. Just do it, Jim. I don't care. Just do it. Doesn't matter. Just do it.
Gil, and anything else? I mean, essentially, I thought it was a smart move by Hortiz to keep JK, and essentially, I mean, if you could have all three of those guys to start the season as your running back, that's going to help out.
Yeah, but again, I worry about the interior offensive line. You can have a bunch of running backs, but are they running backs that could create on their own? If the lanes are not that big, can you go through the hole and make it a little more sizable for you? And I think Hampton could do that, but like I mentioned, Fernando, he's a volume runner, so I worry about like it's like you paid the guy $50 million to be your quarterback. Are you gonna run the football 40, 50 times and I have Herbert in a rhythm? So, but I trust his coaching staff. You saw what Greg Roman did last year in the Harbaugh, but I also
it wasn't very good. So I'll tell you that it wasn't very good.
Well, in the end, it backfired. But you got like I'm with you, Dan. You got to get more linemen there. But at that point, at number 22, you saw the team trying to scramble and trade down. Booker was gone. Grace Abel was gone to Seattle. So you don't want to reach. You want to go for the best player, and that is Hampton. I know I was a little critical of him on last week's show.
I remember.
I'd rather have Henderson. I'd rather have Judkins, the guys from Ohio State that went in the second round, because I think Henderson is elite as being an explosive playmaker. Judkins is elite at being a closer, being physical. I'm not sure if Hampton has an elite trait, but he's the most versatile, complete running back outside of Genty. So if you want a guy who could be 3 downs, that's your guy. The only thing is, like, I think Najee and JK are probably out the door because you're going to get this guy probably, 20 touches a game, Well, I didn't see it. What did it say? His Wi-Fi is crapping out on me.
He goes, there goes Gilbert with pouring the salt.
I'll give you one more thing before I leave for now, a compliment. Right. It was a very diverse draft class. They were kind of, getting pieces everywhere. I like that. And I really like that they trusted Jesse Minter. Like, I know they went offense heavy, but the guy was making, if I played out there for quarterback for Jesse Minter, I'll be decent. So he was a good coach last year.
Yeah.
And I think they
Don't
were
sleep
really
on Gil's
focused.
back pedal.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe, I tell Dan all the time I won CIF and in track and field. So
I know.
I was about to say, don't get him started on that. I'm
400 runner, man.
So I'm not worried about the defense because Minter could coach. He could make it work with what he has. So I'm all about getting the skilled players for Justin Herbert. And that's it. I'm out, fellas.
Enjoy your.
Good to see you, Gil.
Wait, Gilbert. Last thing. What did you? I actually do have a video of Gilbert playing football. If you guys want to see it real quick.
No, he doesn't.
I do.
Oh, it had to be the brown guy, huh? I'm that guy. Okay. I got some color on me. I get it. But come on. All right,
Gilbert. See you later.
See you later. Have a good one. See you later.
Eric, it seemed like the big. Are you gonna miss him, Dan?
No, not really. I'm glad Eric's here. I feel better now. I've had an interesting day, and now Eric's brightened it all up. So I appreciate you, sir.
We have Eric for 8 more minutes, so we will.
So my life's gonna not suck for 8 more minutes. Cool.
What did you think of Aronde Gadsden, the tight end out of Syracuse?
Yeah, legacy pick. Obviously, his dad played in the league. I believe for the Dolphins, was a receiver, good receiver. I think it makes sense. I think you need a guy that can stretch the middle of the defense from the tight end spot. He's got some athleticism. He's got that lineage, which I think is important. If any time you can get that NFL lineage, I think it helps. So we'll see how they work him in. They like to use 2 tight end sets. I love Will Disley, but let's get some other guys in there that are a little more explosive.
I like that.
And let Will Disley go to work in the running game. You still want to, keep him happy and give him some touches here and there, but let's not give him 10.
He makes me nervous. He's got brick for hands. He pops it up for defenders like hot pockets over here. I get a wee bit nervous. He's like Orville Redenbacher trying to bop all this shit over there.
It's funny, Eric. Dan. So on Monday and on Tuesday's show, we basically went and we said one move that should be made after the draft. Somebody said J.K. Dobbins to Nick Chubb to the Bengals. Somebody said Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. Dan went Brandon Sheriff for the Chargers for left guard. What did you think? Were you surprised that Dan picked an offensive lineman?
I was not surprised in the least that Dan picked an offensive lineman. I mean, who else is he going to pick?
I need to protect the son of Odin, my $500 million man or whatever he is. He needs to be protected. Let him deal from back there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I mean, not only that, but I mean, obviously the running game as well. If you're able to
100%. It's going to open up.
It makes his job easier.
Could you imagine if he only throws 20 to 30 times a game and we have a real running game? How many games we're going to win just purely off of that? Like, it's going to be ridiculous. Then Hilberto and the people at your convention for the National Writers Association people or National Writers, I forgot what I called it last time. They're going to be nervous because their beloved Chiefs are going to be in trouble. So,
well, I already predicted that the Chiefs' demise is.
No, that's why I didn't say you. I said your friends. Your friends probably. Yeah. You probably got so many calls. How could you say this? How could you say this?
I got lit up a little bit. I got lit up a little bit for sure.
Oh, that's
Eric,
hilarious.
The other drafts. What did you in the division? Chiefs, Broncos. Yeah. Broncos all of a sudden are everybody's favorite team to like.
They were like that last year. I'm not worried. Look at me. I'm not worried.
What did you make, Eric?
Yeah, obviously I like what the Raiders did. Getting Genty. Obviously we've seen what Pete can do when he has a running game. With Marshawn. Porter, the third rounder out of Iowa State, kind of fits that Richard Sherman mold. He's a receiver turned defensive back, lanky guy. 6'3", 200 pounds. So yeah, like what the Raiders did. Chiefs, I believe they got Simmons out of Ohio State. Is that correct? The guy that was injured. I think he plays offensive tackle.
He's from San Diego.
That's right. Is it Lincoln?
No, I thought he went to I thought he went up. I'll look him up right now.
Anyway, obviously they needed a left tackle. They signed Jalen Moore from the 49ers to kind of be that guy, but now you have another answer.
Helix.
If that doesn't work. He was a Helix. I should have known that. Yeah, Helix. Okay. So yeah, like what they did there. I can't remember who the Broncos take. Who
they
take
took the cornerback out of Texas with the 20th pick.
Yeah.
And
Brown.
Yeah. And they got some other. I mean, let me see. They got RJ Harvey. That's the one that everybody's very excited about from UCF. I think it was
pretty explosive running back. Yeah, that makes some sense. Obviously, they're looking for a running back to kind of add to the mix. They moved on from Javonte Williams, so I think that makes sense. He'll fit in well with what they want to do. With Bo Nix coming back for a second year, I think every team got better. I probably like the Raiders and the Chargers draft the best out of the four teams. Obviously, with the Raiders picking 6, they were going to get better quality players because they're at the top of each round. And I just think the Chargers, like the Ravens, they have a type that they're bringing into their team. Kind of tough-nosed, mentally tough players that are going to play physical, that kind of fit the type of culture that they're building with Jim Harbaugh.
Chris Sims thought that there wasn't that much a difference between Hampton and Genty. Did you see it like that? You being a former running back, or
yeah?
Whoa! He was a wide receiver, weren't you?
Wide receiver.
I was about to say, don't you dare disrespect
sorry.
boy.
Running back in high school, wide receiver in college.
Yeah, but come on. It doesn't matter. In high school, we play everything. We play the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It's not.
I hear you. So for me, Genty is more shifty. I think he breaks more tackles. I think he's better in open space. I think he's more elusive. I think Hampton's faster. Like, he's one of those one-cut guys. Like, if there's a lane and he hits it, like, see you later. Like, go ahead and put 6 on the scoreboard. He's scoring. I think Genty has that explosion too in terms of speed, but I don't think he has the long speed that Hampton does. But I do think, like, him in a phone booth, I think he's better at, making people miss. And because of his size, he's only 5'8", 200 pounds. So he's more like Barry Sanders, where I feel like Hampton is more like Eric Dickerson, kind of a little more linear. Obviously strong, got good hands though too. He can catch the ball in the backfield. I'm a little higher on Hampton than I think Gill is. I like him because I feel like he can score from anywhere on the field. Like, if it's blocked up right and he hits it and he gets to the second level, a couple arm tackles and he's in the end zone. So
do you see the photo? He looked huge standing next to.
He's rocked up now.
Yeah, I know. I was like, my God.
He's rocked up.
I Googled it and I'm like, it said he was 6 foot. I'm like, Jim's 6'3" and he looks like taller than him. Like,
I was at the combine and I went inside to watch the running backs and the quarterbacks work out on that Saturday. And I was just mesmerized at how yoked and fast all of the running backs were. I mean, everybody's running 4.4. Everybody looked like a bodybuilder.
Damn.
Just some really explosive.
So he looked like
guys.
a fridge, like Derrick Henry, just not as tall, or
yeah, kind of like Henry, not as rocked up as Henry, but I mean he's put together. He's built.
Yeah. Okay. I like this.
Quickly, Eric, there was one other. Oh, are you tired of the name Shedeur Sanders?
Man, like, let's talk about something else. That's kind of how I feel. I think we've done enough. We've covered it from all different angles. I'm glad that he, landed in a spot in Cleveland. He'll get to compete, and now he gets a chance to prove, the doubters wrong. That he deserved to be picked higher than the 5th round, and we'll see.
We had Joe on.
This is going to be something new for him. He's never had to go in and compete for a job. So I'm going to see how he does.
We had Joe on Tuesday. He's like, this is a typical move by this team, and you could just tell. And so obviously Dan has to open it up with. So he texted me, is Dan going to be on? And I was like, yes, sir. He's like, I would like him to ask me a question. I was like, he will. So I let Dan have the first question, and he goes, during the draft process, Shedeur said, if you don't want to be legendary, don't select me. Joe, do you feel like the Browns are ready to be legendary? And you could just see Joe like shake his head, and he's just like, I was like, and I texted him, you wanted him to do the first question. He's like, and he didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
That's what I try and do. I try not to disappoint Eric. That's what I try and do here. That's why I bring up the references to
no references.
Networks and things like that. Because I feel like at this point you expect it. And when you leave, if I don't do it, you're like, what happened? Is he okay? I'm worried about my buddy over there.
So, Dan, why do you think he fell? Why do you think he fell to the 5th round?
Oh, that's easy. Just look at what his dad did at the start of the process, saying there's only a few teams I'll let my son play for. We'll pull an Eli Manning and things like that. Like, this is what I said, on Tuesday. The other part of it was also look at the interviews Shedeur's given. You know what I mean? He's buried teammates before. He's had bad attitudes in front of the media. If we're to believe what happened in the interview process also, like, what more do we need? But on top of that, I was saying this the other day on Tuesday, I think, when we talked about this. The NFL isn't a choir boy league. There's plenty of felons, offenders of all types, sexual and otherwise, DUIs, all that in the league. They'll put up with it if you're good enough. Clearly he wasn't. In my opinion, he goes to Colorado. What they do at Colorado? They broke 500 a few times. Like, okay, that's cool. Like, they got beat up by the Mormons in a bowl game. Like, what are we talking about? So,
I mean, they took over a team that had 1 win. So
yeah,
but they went into the process, Eric. They went into the process. He didn't throw at the East-West Shrine Bowl.
The other thing.
Oh no, I'm not justifying
To me,
he was a second, third round talent that dropped because he didn't handle the process correctly.
Like, I'm not gonna lie,
overplayed his hand.
Yeah, like, I agree with that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was, I shit on him. I'm the first guy to shit on him. But when I saw Miami take Quinn, I was like, why wouldn't you have taken Shedeur? He can at least sling a little more or whatever else. Like, they got some weapons out there in Miami. But, like, there was a few teams where I was like, I'm surprised they didn't take a risk on him this late. Because I was like, dude, it's not like you have winners in front of him. So.
He seems like he's a good enough kid. I mean, you've read some stuff where he came off as cocky. Sure. But he's never done anything. He's never slapped anybody or done anything wrong. Does he talk shit? Yeah, he talks shit, but he's a Sanders. I mean, that's what they all do. Deion Jr. talks crap to people on social media.
No one even knows who that is. They think they're talking about Deion Sr. No one knows.
I just think it was the Tim Tebow effect. I mean, I think, if you're a franchise and you have a backup quarterback and he's getting more attention, media attention than your starter, it's hard to kind of deal with that. So the talent has to match up with everything else, and for Sanders that ended up being the 5th round, and we'll see if he can rebound from that.
Flacco isn't going to give a shit. Pickett and Dylan Gabriel, I feel bad for both of them because if either one of them comes out and they're crap in the bed, people are going to start shouting from the hilltops that they want Shedeur.
I was going to say the other thing
he's like.
To piggyback
last thing, Dan, because Eric needs to leave.
Oh, he needs to go? Okay, never mind.
I'll go ahead one more, and then I can head
okay. I wanted to ask you about an Aaron Glenn thing real quick because I know you think highly of him and everything else. Yeah. Did you see what Roger said about him on the McAfee thing or no?
Yeah, I heard about it. What was the exact quote?
The exact quote to me that was really interesting was, I don't want to be in front of the team speaking and them look back at you. That's where I was kind of like, that's a little, I don't know if that was a little bit of insecurity or what, but that was very interesting to me. Because, like, obviously, like, Rodgers is well known, a legend of the game, probably a Hall of Famer and everything else. Mm-hmm. So that's the only thing I wanted to ask you, kind of because Aaron Glenn more. And what do you kind of think about that type of stuff right there?
I think him saying that just tells you he kind of wants to clear that space. So there's no denying like he's the person in charge. And so if you have somebody like Aaron Rodgers, because of his clout as a player and a future Hall of Famer, I think it could kind of undercut your ability to lead the team and be the unquestioned leader of the team. Because, Aaron's not always going to follow what you say. He's gonna say what he wants to say. Yeah. And if you're a first-year head coach, you want a clear vision from the top of this is what we're doing, and you want everybody to fall in line, and Aaron's not going to fall in line. If he goes to the Steelers, he's going to have to fall in line because Tomlin is I think has been there longer and has more clout.
Yeah, that's what's going to be the interesting part. That's the only reason I kind of do want him to go. See if him and Tomlin clash at all or whatever. But anyway, thank you, Eric. I don't want to hold you up any longer. I appreciate that. I know I sometimes get long-winded.
It's all good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Our
I
guy,
appreciate it.
Eric D. Williams. Eric, we do need to go get pizza. We'll do it soon because we do owe you one for helping us out. So let us just hit that one more time.
Outro, yeah. I hit the outro. Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. There you go.
You guys.
See you later. I love that.
That is our guy.
That is
Eric
the best
Williams.
dog out there.
That was a good.
I know. I just showed up. I didn't know there was going to be an all-star cast in here right now.
Well, you're the all-star, but everybody else.
Yeah,
is.
no, that's you. I always tell everybody my brother's better at everything.
No, Dan. You right now you're loving your general manager, aren't you?
The whole time. I finally have adults in the room. I'm excited.
Listen to what he had to say on the Pat McAfee show.
Justin, I wasn't part of the pre-draft process with Justin. But being around him for a year now, a year plus, he's brilliant. So intelligent. As a guy, when I look at Justin, I'll be honest with you, I hate Justin because he's got everything. Beautiful. He's got pinpoint accuracy. He's athletic as can be. He never looks out of breath. He throw the ball through the wall. He's smart. I hate him. And I like him. He's the best, man. I mean, it's just the whole not all men are created equal, or all men are created equal. I say on the inside, outside. He's gifted and so brilliant and such a great dude. So.
That's hilarious. I love that. That you see the type of personality this guy has. That's hilarious, dude. We're gone are the days when we have stiffs and everything else, but 100%. The Son of Odin's got it all, baby. That's why he's they could make action figures of him, a cartoon or whatever else, a movie. He'll make a better movie than Kurt Warner. I'll give you that. I'll tell you that right now.
Dan, Todd McShay was speaking, former ESPN.
I was about to say that guy sounds familiar.
He's with the Ringer now, which is our good friend BJ Cruz's.
Shout out.
This is what he had to say about the draft that you just had.
Nailed the first 4 picks in my.
Is that the Todd McShay guy?
In the Harbaugh image? Okay. It's about,
he has a beard now. He didn't have one.
Tight ends, but it's about running the football and being physical and putting our quarterback in a position with play action to set him up for some big shots, make life easier. We got to make life easier on Justin Herbert. And that's what they did. They come out, Omarion Hampton is going to pound the rock. And by the way, ball 97th percentile,
97th, Dan.
Forced
I like that.
Trey Harris, wide receiver, Ole Miss, not the fastest guy, but my goodness, is he good after the catch? Jamari Caldwell. Huge interior defender.
Too early. I like that.
Fine, but stout, tough versus the run. And I like Kyle Kennard, man. I know he doesn't have great traits in the 4th round. That's a great pick too.
Go watch the LSU.
Look at that, Dan.
I don't like him. I think
like
the 6th round safety, RJ Mickens out of Clemson, wildly underrated. A big safety that can run, can cover a little bit. I couldn't believe he lasted that long.
Chargers nailed.
I like that, dude. But again, this is what I talked about when he first got hired. This is the advantage he's going to have probably for another 3 years potentially. And this is why I think you didn't see him spend a lot. You didn't see him trade a lot in the season last year because he knew that that's what this was gearing towards anyway. He was going to build through the draft because he knows all these guys. So, I can't wait till training camp. I can't wait till preseason, to see some of these guys get out there and everything else, see how well this draft class shores up. So, football's right around the corner, baby.
Dan, I got something for you. I want you to analyze this phone call and let me know what you think of it.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, I know it's been a long weekend. We're going to take you off some work here, all right, brother?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Hey, listen, you got to come in, you got to work hard, you got to earn your job, earn your keep. It doesn't matter where you're taking, it matters what you do from this point forward, all right? Talented, spent a lot of time with you, good kid. Let's get ready to go to work and improve all the past week. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, I got a coach here right now.
Reggie hangs up. Could you imagine dude? But like, he has a freaking guy following him around with the camera. Like, what are we doing? Like for his creating his own content or whatever, I guess. That stuff is just crazy to me, man. I don't know. That stuff is crazy to me because I bet you, who knows how long that's gonna last for him in the NFL. Because what happens if he plays bad? That's what people aren't wondering either. What happens if where's all those cameras gonna go now? So, geez Louise, he just really, my God.
Benjamin Solak, I've been telling you, Dan, he's been a huge fan of yours. Listen to what he said.
Okay, I want to talk about the AFC West with you, Ben. They got that much better over the weekend. You showed love. And the Chargers, I believe, over the weekend. If you had to pick between them, whose draft did you like more?
Yeah, the Chiefs draft was very Chiefsy, but the Chargers draft was very Ben Solak-y. It was just all these players that I really, really liked. I was an enormous fan of Marion Hampton, the back out of UNC. I think that landing spot for him is perfect as well. They're going to be able to be very vertical in the running game, let him hit one gap. He's highly explosive, breaks a ton of tackles, extremely good after contact, good offhand, good vision. I think his vision's much better than people realize. I think Hampton's going to have a ludicrously productive rookie season. Trey Harris in round 2 is the exact sort of receiver that they like in terms of their size. He's a good route runner. He's good contested catch. They kind of need that bigger body on the outside to win those physical routes. That's going to be Trey Harris. 3rd round, Jameer Caldwell was a player that I thought comped favorably to Poona Ford. They had Poona Ford in the building last year, lost him to the Rams in free agency. They were clearly pretty pissed off about that in like the post-free agency press conferences. They did not think they'd lose him. And so getting a Poona Ford replacement round 3, I thought was excellent. Keandre Lambert-Smith and then Oronde Gadsden the 2nd, wide receiver out of Auburn and tight end out of Syracuse, respectively. 2 high-ceiling players, Lambert-Smith for the speed. Gadsden, he's a wide receiver to tight end convert. Smooth route runner, catches everything outside of his frame.
Catches everything outside of his frame, Dan.
Beautiful. Catches ball when open. That's the main thing I got to worry about. Catches ball when open. Yeah, but like I said, looks good on paper. Let's get to August. Let's see what the hell's going to happen. Let's see what they're going to put out there. This is the part that I hate because it's like, of course you're excited, but you're not trying to get too excited because you don't know how any of these guys are going to pan out. So, I can't wait. I can't wait to training camp to see what's going on and get the roster and everything else.
What's up, Pedro?
There you go. Shout out, Pedro.
Make sure you check out before we had Gilberto on and then we had Eric Williams on. So they were amazing.
Make sure you smash the like button.
Yeah, please. Dan, I know you're going to like this troll job here.
We celebrate the 2025 Super Bowl world champ Philadelphia Eagles.
That's hilarious. Where were they at in Kansas
City?
Oh, that's great. God bless Grayson. What's his name? Grayson Waller. Wow, you're terrible. Yeah. Terrible.
I know.
Wow. Big WWE guy over here.
Obviously, Dan, you're a big wait, what happened here? Oh,
what are you looking for?
No, I was just looking at something. Obviously, the Chargers that need that. I mean, those two. That
I like
the
Brett's
center
comment right here. Yes, 100%. Because I think now, from what we've seen, also guys who can catch the football when they're open. They're trying to build a fail-safe in all sorts of ways. 100%.
My bad, Jorge. I wanted to. I'm starting to wind it down a little bit, but yeah, Brett. That's another thing that I've heard. A lot of people feel like R.J. Mickens is a draft day steal for them at the safety position. He's going to challenge Tony Jefferson. I think we have to talk about. Everybody says he's just going to challenge Tony. I think he's going to challenge Alohi Gilman as well.
Why are people hating on my boy Tony? That's my dog.
No. I know. But I think they're trying to Jorge, brain fart. I think they're going to challenge. Everybody's going to be challenged. I mean, they have a bunch of guys in here that are going to ball. If you really look at the roster, most of the Tom Telesco guys are basically
gone.
They're basically gone. This is starting to shape up more. Obviously, year 3 is the year where it really becomes like their team completely.
Harbaugh's team, yeah.
But But going back to the other thing, I definitely think that, Dan, that obviously Rashawn Slater, they spoke about. Oh, that's what I was going to. The Puna Ford thing. What's Hortiz said that they thought that they made a compelling offer to
Puna Ford,
to him, and he just decided to go to the Rams. So that was interesting.
I wonder if it was at least more money or not that the Rams offered.
No, well, he said it was in the same ballpark. Hortiz said.
Yeah,
so obviously we don't know that.
It was probably more.
Yeah. But I mean, the Chargers went out and got. That's what the thing was. Free agency was more about the defense, in my opinion. Everybody's like, well, what are you doing with the offense? And then the Chargers start drafting offense, and everybody's like, well, you're forgetting about the defense. You can never win. But I thought
in the court of public opinion, you always lose, Frau.
Exactly. I think they're gonna go. I think they went defense with free agency, and I think they went more offense.
Oh my God!
During the draft, but I just saw somebody ask how many receivers. Tom, man, I don't know. You would want to say 6 because it'd be Ladd, Mike, the 2 new draft picks, Trey Harris and Lambert Smith, Darius Davis and Quentin Johnston. So yeah, that'd be the 6 right there. Unless they're because I thought Darius Davis, and Dan was mentioning it. Darius Davis came on during late in the season last year. He was I think he had 2 or 3 games with a receiving touchdown in a row.
They didn't use him more.
So they definitely legendary Joe Reed from Tommy T, Never Forget. You know, it's funny, Brett. We were trying to get them to put an extra Y at the end and give Joe Reedy a jersey because I thought that would have been
hilarious.
Yeah. Dennis, I don't know about might. I think we would take out that might because
ooh, not looking good is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's gonna be all of a sudden you went from a very open like, hey, anybody can take a receiver spot to now, hey, there's a lot more and again, it's what Jim Harbaugh says. I know everybody thinks they're cute cliches, but he's right. Competitors welcome in the sense of they're at every single position you're going to be competing. Bradley Bozeman, hey, you hit a Saints player last year to defend our quarterback. Thank you so much. But here goes Andre James. And now we're talking about Zion possibly being in there. Jorge, damn, okay. I was going to say, yeah, of course it's hot. But no, I'd say it's lukewarm, if anything. I thought, again,
well, draft picks usually don't let go early anyway.
No, and he's a first-round draft pick. That's the only.
That's
if we're looking at individually, Jorge, he showed improvement. That's what teams want to see: improvement from one year to the other. But yeah, it's going to be tough, especially if they added 2 new receivers who they're hoping is going to be their 1 through 4, and then John 5th, and then the returner. Yeah.
Well, and on top of that, you don't know who they're going to add from people who get caught, during training camp and things like that. You don't know who they're going to add, what they're going to do.
Well, and then the thing is too, is that you might even have to look at the undrafted free agents as guys that, because I mean, the Chargers
team.
Because I mean, the Chargers went after 2 defensive linemen, 1 wide receiver, Luke Grimm from Kansas, and people are saying that he's really good. They got 2 pass rushers, they got 1 linebacker, and they went safety, guard. Then they went offensive line for a lot of them, cornerback, and then even Rocket Sanders from South Carolina. A lot of people are very high on him. The one thing I'm interested in is the DJ, the quarterback out of Florida State. People are pissed, Dan, because he's wearing 13 right now. So fans are like, really? Why isn't
the DJ guy who got something?
But my question is, and it's the same thing that Albert Breer put on Twitter. I'm wondering, the undrafted
it was something with a K. They were saying that he was a steal, I think.
The undrafted not Nash Jones. Hold on.
K, I thought.
Corey Stewart, no. Josh Carlton.
There you go. Okay.
From Berger from Maryland. Yeah, him.
Marlon.
That's a lot of people are very high on him.
Oh, you see what Baker's saying? Oh,
I'm wondering if DJ is going to convert to tight end like Albert Breer suggested, because if he does, that'd be he's athletic. He's very athletic. But I mean, the thing, because I mean, as a quarterback, like Dan, you heard what Joe Reedy said the other day when asked about him. He's like, that guy's not going to be an NFL quarterback. So I think to save yourself, you kind of go the what's his name, the
Tim
from
Tebow.
Virginia Tech. No,
it was what's his name, Terrell Pryor. You remember he did it too?
Yeah, Terrell Pryor did it, but then so did Logan Thomas.
Oh, I was gonna say Demarius Robinson.
No, Logan Thomas. Oh no. Oh yeah.
He was with the Jets.
DeMarcus Robinson.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, definitely a lot of interesting factors. Angel, I would be very surprised.
I would be very surprised.
But yeah, that's basically
maybe as a coach.
I mean, the thing that trips me out at Dan is that he gave up his number.
Who?
Mickens. He gave 27 back to. He left it as an open number.
Yeah.
So that's definitely.
I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a scumbag way of keeping somebody, but I'm all in, dude. I like that.
But I mean, it kind of protects the player, because I mean, I told you the number that the number.
Yeah.
The number's very, very high, and we're already May 1st. Like, free agency started 2 months ago.
Well, especially like the thing with running backs too is like you're not going to pay a guy who misses games. At least that would be like if I was, again, I'm not very good at it. I don't know a lot about it. But if I was a GM, that would be my number one rule. I'm not going to pay for people who miss games. Like you just can't do it. You know what I mean? So whatever number they think in their head that I think is ridiculous, I'm not going to do it, especially if they miss games. Like
Jorge, I think they're preparing themselves for him possibly being back, but I think it is going to take a little bit for him to make a team, just because the free agency just happened, the draft just happened, and usually a guy like him might not be signed until training camp, and if he basically stays with the Chargers during training camp, that means they would have to trade for him. So there's a lot of wrinkles that it's going to be very interesting when it comes to this, unless somebody gets hurt during minicamp or something like that. But Nick Chubb is still out there. A lot of guys.
Hey, could you imagine those three backs, dude? You'd be
Dennis. I do think Greg Roman makes it through the season. I think now it's all on him. You have the weaponry, you have players. Obviously, let's wait to see how they look. But a lot of it.
I think it's going to depend. I think if they're scoring like they did this year, 12, 14 points a game or less, like I think they might pull the rug pretty early. Because like, you can't have that continue. You have to, trajectory has to go up. If it's not going up, I wouldn't doubt that. No, that doesn't happen.
All right.
I know that's going to be the number one talking point, by the way, all season, no matter, depending on what happens in what game. The Roman, get Roman's ass out of here. He finally came back. I don't know. We'll see. He's not the tribal chief, so I don't get as excited when we talk about him.
Well, I mean, especially because of
with the stupid heavy personnel when we don't have the horses. Jeez Louise, guy, what are we doing? Get off the Just for Men. It's making you high. Exactly, Brett. We're going to know 3 to 5 weeks in, 100%.
Dan, this is your running back is already working out. I don't know if you saw this.
I like that. I like that.
Gilberto has questions about him, Dan.
I can't wait. I like Eric's take more.
I think if you ask Gilberto which team unseats the Chiefs for the division, I think he would say the Broncos.
Good.
Or the Raiders.
The curse. Let him curse them. Let him curse them.
Because remember last year he said them. He said the Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh no, he said to make the playoffs.
make the playoffs, and then guess what they did? They
It's just funny to me because there still has been only one team. Like last year, the Chargers. It's incredible. Last year, the Chargers played the Chiefs game 1, only lost by 7 without their 2 tackles and Derwin James, who had been suspended.
Yeah.
Then the second game, they don't have Ladd McConkey, and they only lost by, I think it was 3 or 4 points.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm not worried, dude. Just wait till I finally get some horses. Their reign of terror is coming to an
imagine if
end.
you see them in the playoffs and you're the one that
Jimbo is going to unsheath his sword.
Because if we look at it, the Chargers are more similar to the Eagles than, I mean, the only thing is that obviously the Chargers have Herbert. But I definitely think that the Chargers have kind of been building for this because they used to challenge the Chiefs even when it was Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator. Yeah. They even I know you guys aren't going to like this, but even with Brandon Staley, his defense,
one of the only wins we've had in a while.
Yeah, and his defense still played well against the Chiefs, except for that one in Kansas City where you could tell that when Michael Davis and Derwin were like, they were pissed that they kept on playing zone. Kelsey was beating them like a drum in the first half, and then in the second half they come out playing man and they do better. So, but I definitely think that this is going to be a very, very interesting season coming up. But all right, let us wind down. I think we won't be back until, I'm sorry, Pedro.
You'll hear it again in training camp.
They won a game with Anthony Lynn, and then they won a game also with
that
with
Anthony Lynn one. I'm not a Rivers guy, but that was the only time where I was like, "Finally, you son of a bitch!" That was a good game.
I don't think
trying to give it away.
I don't think we'll be back until Thursday, the 14th, when the schedule comes out. I know Dan's gonna hate that, but I definitely think we do need to show up for the schedule release.
Oh, Dennis, that's how the coaching world works, man. He got hired.
I still can't figure it out. Oh yeah.
That's how the coaching world works. You take care of each other like that.
Dan, I think what we're gonna do there is, I think the schedule comes out at 5 p.m. that day.
Cartoons. So no cartoons. I can't do it.
Yeah, Jorge, I think that's when the schedule comes out, May 14th. Why? Do you have a final that day? I think we'll jump on about 15 minutes before the schedule is released, or 10 minutes. And then you guys can get Dan's reaction to every single Dan, a year ago that day, we had 2 amazing guys with us talking about the schedule, and they both no longer cover the team. So definitely
I miss those guys.
I know. Compas for life.
Shout out to Sir Joseph.
But yeah, I think we'll jump on that day. You guys can get Dan's live reaction to the schedule. And then we'll obviously have Dan go through it and see what he thinks the record's going to be. Maybe we'll have Gilbert jump in. He can give us his thoughts. Chris Rim, Eric, maybe we do a little bit of a quick come in, say the record, and then you can't catch the ball. So
there you go.
If you can't catch the ball,
get out of my fucking team. Get out. I don't want you here.
Again, thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Thank you to Jorge. Thank you to Pedro, Angel, Dennis, Alex, Brett. Hold on, I'm going up this list. I said Dennis. Angel, I said Angel. Thank you to all you guys. Honestly, make it a lot of fun and interactive. So you guys are amazing. I know we had more people in here. Oh, Robert M. Tom.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Angel.
No. You guys, thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. You guys make this a lot of fun. You guys make it very interactive. So definitely no, Pedro, you don't season opener. No, you don't want Pedro, you don't want them in Brazil. You want it at home so that you
can that way you play some slappy on the shitty field down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't it
again? Field? Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. We're gonna get out of here. Don't forget to pound the like button. Again, you guys are the best. Dan, why don't you get us out of here?
Like, comment, subscribe, be a compa, tell a compa. Have a great freaking weekend. And don't forget, we'll never find out why John